Hi there, it's Tracy here. I'm going to share a couple of layouts that I've done. This is going to be one of my few after the fact layout shares. I usually just press play or press record on my video camera that I leave set up over my workspace and do process videos of a fair number of my layouts, but there are some layouts that I just kind of squeeze in. This was actually, it's a bit of a funny story. Firstly, because I scrapbooked about my old crappy shoes, but secondly, because I actually scrapbooked this one by mistake. I don't know if anybody else has ever scrapbooked by mistake, but the story behind these shoes is that these were my old ratty shoes that I loved, 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 and about a year ago we got a puppy and they went from being old ratty shoes to being terribly ratty beyond the point of being able to use them anymore. So I haven't actually worn these shoes for the past year since we got our puppy. But I was hanging on to them because, I don't know, I had it in my head that they were so comfortable and maybe I could get away with wearing them someplace dark or something. I don't know what I was thinking. You cannot wear shoes that look like this. So anyways, I finally decided to throw them away, and I got Scott to take their picture before I threw them away because I'm a crazy scrapbooker and I need to take pictures of stuff. So anyways, I came downstairs the other night and I had these photos out on my table that I was planning to scrap this weekend. This is on a Thursday night, I think, which I never scrapbook on Thursday nights. Came down to clean up and I started cleaning up and I came across this green striped paper and I thought this stripe really picks up on the paper, on the stripe in my shoes, and I thought, well, I'll put that aside for doing my shoe layout. And then somehow I just wound up doing the layout. I didn't really mean to, but I did. So anyways, this is a piece of October Afternoon paper that I distressed and outlined in my broad-tipped Zig marker. And these are all different kinds of thickers right there. So it says, "Farewell, my comfy old slip-ons." I did quite extensive journaling with my .05 tipped marker. Because the lines in that journaling spot are so close together, I had to use a really, really fine point pen. So my .05 Prismacolor Premier marker I used for that. Before I got started, I just slapped down a Tim Holtz mask and did some tattered leather glimmer mist around it. And then when I was all done the whole thing, I just pulled a non-letter element from each of the chipboard letters that I used and put them up in the corner just to make a cute little design. It doesn't really mean anything, it's just a cute little design. So there's my layout. It was really fast and easy and fun. I love using different letters. The only thing I hate about using different letters is that I now have 5 packages of thickers out on my table that I need to put back into their packages. I hate repackaging thickers, but I also don't want them loose, so I have to repackage them. So anyways, I thought I'd share that, and then while I was sharing that, I also have a number of other layouts that range from recent to very, very old that I've had out. What I do is I sometimes display layouts around my house in like easel things that I think they're made for displaying plates. Anyways, so I've kind of switched up and I need to get a new book, and so I'm trying to figure out how many layouts I actually have out that I need to kind of put away. So that's why I've got this random assortment of layouts to share with you today. But I don't think I did videos on any of these. So this is one that's fairly recent. I think I did it in the early summer. And this is a layout of my daughter and her best friend. They went to a birthday party at a farm that's nearby. And I used the Wanted 6x6 Cosmo Cricut stack for this, but so I just chose a piece of 12x12 because I didn't have any 12x12 paper. All I had was this and the chipboard elements, so I just chose a piece of brownish red just because it matched fairly well. I don't even remember the brand of this. I just really distressed it and used a lot of glimmer mist, like brown glimmer mist, and use that as my base, and then I just slipped in a piece of one of these papers in the background, so this only goes from here to here. It's not like the whole this isn't behind all of this paper, it's only behind the part where it shows. So I tore that down and I inked the insides of it. I think this was single-sided paper. Yeah, it is. So I had to make sure that I got brown all over the edges so it looked really old and grungy. And then I just used different chipboard pieces and some thickers and some letter stickers that I had in my stash from way back when, and layered a couple of papers like this paper. And this is a kind of a grungy flower that I made using a, this is a brad. And then the way I did this was I actually, it's going to be hard to describe, but what I did was I punched 5 flowers out of a circle that, sorry, 5 circles that were this size. And I used one as my base, and then the other 4 I folded into quarters, so I folded in half and then folded in half again, and then I glued each quarter onto the base so that I had this like layered flower. So it looks kind of, it just has a more dimension to it than if I just stacked 4 exact same sized flowers. Actually, I couldn't have punched it because that's made out of ribbon, so I must have just cut 5 circles. It was a while ago, so I can't remember exactly what I did, but I do remember that I folded up into little triangles the little circles and put them all together like that. Yeah, and then I just, the other thing with making a distressed, this is really outside of my style. If you know my style, I don't do much of this kind of layout, but I thought it fit for a Wild Wild West party. And so I just made sure that the white edges on my photo were distressed. I used antique linen, I think, to get all of the white into a like a yellowy color. I even distressed the sky so that it would kind of not stand out as super bright. And then I used my nestabilities to make like a background for my title, and I used a piece of wood grain paper from the pack, and then I did and I used my nestability scallop, or my nestability oval and my nestability scallop oval, and layered them to make a background for my title. So that's that. And that ribbon, by the way, that I use for both the flower and the accent up here is Stampin' Up! Ribbon. I think it's Cherry Cobbler striped grosgrain ribbon. So there's that. My next 2 are from National Scrapbooking Day. I made, I think, 5 layouts on National Scrapbooking Day, which was way back in May. But these ones didn't make it into my album, so I thought I'd share them since they're out. This one was a journaling challenge. I participated at scrapbook.com. I kind of took the whole day to just scrapbook, but there were 2-hour limits on each challenge, and I'm a very slow scrapper, so it's hard for me to make a layout in 2 hours, and that actually included photography and upload times, and plus posting it to the forum where you had to post it. So each of these layouts were actually done in half an hour, which is record for me. I had never done this before, so it was kind of fun to, you know, try to rise to the challenge and to, you know, do someone else's idea of, because there were themes for each challenge, and do it within a time limit was kind of, you know, it was fun. So for this one, the challenge was called A Handwritten Note. So I wrote, in most of them, I put like NSD and then the year, and then a handwritten note, that's the name of the challenge, and then I put scrapbook.com right here so that I'd remember that I participated there. And what this is because I use a lot of journaling pieces and stuff, what I decided to do was to layer a whole bunch of journaling pieces, and this was actually a lot more challenging than I thought it was going to be, because it's hard to space out where you're going to put all of your writing for it when you've got your journaling set up like this. So but anyways, I think it worked out okay, and I really like how some of them are stickers and some of them are chipboard and some of them are pop dotted and double pop dotted to really have a lot of different dimension to it. When you're doing something this simple and that uses a lot of negative space, you want to make sure that you've got some type of interest there. And so, so yeah, this was Soul Sisters. And the reason I titled it that was that that was on the radio when I was doing this layout. And I thought, hey, that's a good name for this, because it's about my 2 little girls outside playing on the playground. So, and this just talks about, the journaling says, we're so lucky to have these 2 girls to love. They're so loving to one another and those around them. And this one says, Livy is so outgoing and mostly fearless, yet sensitive and caring. Sophie is such a little character, so cautious, yet loves to shine once she warms up. They are amazing sisters, so generous and thoughtful to one another. They are truly soul sisters. And then this one just talks about the photo. It says, playing together at Buckingham Commons, so much fun, March 2011. So, so yeah, I find it easier to kind of put different ideas on each piece of journaling, so that you don't have to worry about continuing a message and having the person try to guess where they go to next. So each one is kind of a self-contained message. So that's what I did, and I like how it turned out. It's one of my favorite simple layouts that I've done. I mean, really, really simple. So that was fun to do. Here's another simple layout that I really like. This was another National Scrapbooking Day challenge. You had to use a handmade flower, and that was awesome because me and my friend Sherry, we make these blooms as one of the things we do for our business. And my challenge to myself, the challenge from them, was to include a handmade flower. So I whipped this up super quick. I had all the materials on hand because we make them every week. But my challenge to myself was to combine purple and red, which I had been wanting to do for a long time. And I thought these photos were good because my shirt is red and the background has like a hazy purpley look to it. So it kind of already had purple and red in the pictures. So that was an easy way to combine 2 colors that might not look so great together all the time. But I love purple and red together. It's my favorite color combination, but you do need to kind of be careful about how you put them together because it could look bad, I think. So really, really easy. I just spritzed it, put the photos on, and added a couple things and a title. So it was really kind of easy, and I like how it turned out. I used Perfect Pearls for the centers of my butterflies this whole day whenever I used a butterfly, because I ran out of little pearls, and the Perfect Pearls, they don't come out, you know, like they flatten a little bit, so they're not the greatest. This was punched from a paper bag, like a gift bag from a card shop, and so it's a really nice, delicate kind of paper. It looks good with the delicate butterfly. So that's my other layout. This is one of my all-time favorite layouts, so even though it's really, really old, I thought I'd share it with you guys. I love this layout, mostly because I love the story behind it. This is my daughter Sophie when she was really little. This was from, what year was this? 2009? Yeah, it doesn't have a date. I should have dated it. It's from a long, long time ago. Look at how young she is. She's so cute. And so this was us. We were eating soup, and she was counting the crackers. And my journaling says, counting crackers as she adds them to her soup, Sophie stops after 11 because 12-teen is just enough. And the story behind this is that she was counting them out and doing a good job, like 1, 2, 3, and she was kind of breaking them. She didn't put 12 crackers in her soup, but she was kind of breaking them and counting them as she put pieces in. And she went to, 10, 11, 12-teen, and then she said, and that's just enough. So I thought it was really cute that she called 12-teen, and so I just wanted to kind of quote her on that one. So 12-teen is just enough. And then I grabbed the label off of the soup can in the kitchen because I knew I'd be scrapbooking that day, and used the label as one of my background pieces. And this is Basic Gray papers and elements from Junebug and Lime Ricky, and I think mostly Lime Ricky, but some of these pieces are from Junebug, and some little vintage tickets and a bingo card and some journaling pieces. And then around the edges, I love this. I kind of wrote out over and over again how she counted, like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12-teen, something teen, 20, and then I kind of repeated it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and then again and again. So I just kind of quoted her counting so that I'd remember how cute she used to count before yeah, she was just so cute. She got her tonsils and adenoids removed, and her speech improved vastly. It was about 2 years ago, I think, she got her surgery, and she went from, even we couldn't understand her, and we live with her every day, to speaking very, very clearly. So that was a great surgery for her. It really worked and helped her speech quite a bit. So I just love how I love how the layout turned out, and I also really love how I really got a chance to document a moment that we might have otherwise forgotten, and just how cute. And these are the moments that really kind of make you, so happy that you get to scrapbook and capture these moments, because, otherwise I think I would have forgotten how she used to count. So there's that. And then this was just a sweet, sweet picture of my daughter and her aunt at her other aunt's wedding. And she was one of the little flower girls or whatever. My two daughters were in the wedding. And this is just really simple, and I used all items from a Scarlet Lime kit and just kind of threw together some stuff. These are cutouts from one of the papers, and some butterflies from K & Company, and a little flower that came with the kit, and some chipboard elements and stuff. So it's really kind of another one of those simple ones that I really like. The picture kind of really makes this layout, of course, which is, I guess, the way it's supposed to be. Then this is another one of my all-time favorites. This is from 2009, and I scrapped it in 2009, so it's a long time ago. But before I put it away, I thought I'd share it with you guys because it's another one of my favorites. I really like this kind of cluster of buttons, all different sizes, but it's kind of similar colors. I love doing that. I do that quite a lot. It's one of my favorite ways to make an embellishment for a layout. And I really love this paper. This paper, I think it's by, yeah, it's the December 09 main kit from Scarlet Lime I wrote on the back. But this paper, I think it's GDC Studios. It has this amazing texture to it that I don't know if you can, and it really distresses so nicely. It's almost like a linen, but it's thinner than something like a basil or some of the other textured cardstocks. It's thinner, but it's just so, I love, love, love this paper. I think it might be GDS. I don't know. Anyways, it's one of the companies that commonly comes in Scarlet Lime kits, and I just love it for distressing. It already had the scratch marks on it. I just added ink around the edges, and I distressed the edges and outlined it. So I've been outlining forever, obviously. I didn't realize I was doing that way back in 2009. But, and when I was flipping through some of my albums, I was doing it way back when I started, so that's kind of... Anyways, another kind of just random clusters, and I use, this is the packaging from a Kaisercraft. All the Kaisercraft embellishments come with a little label that's kind of on a hang string. And then these are foam hearts that I punched out with my double heart punch, and I just punched them out of Fun Foam, and it kind of picks up on the foam thickers that I used. And yeah, so this was really fun, and I just stamped kind of part on the photo and part onto the background. And yeah, I guess I don't have too much to say about this other than I just love how those colors look together, and picking up on the green in the background and the red and his... I just really like how this one turned out. And then this one, another really simple one from 2 Christmases ago. It's called The Tops of Their Heads, and it's just really simple, like a heart. I just hand cut this heart and added some punched pattern paper, and I think this is Making Memories, little piece of felt poinsettia that I put a Prima butterfly bling on it. And it shows both of the girls, they got Leapsters that year, or they got a Leapster for Christmas that year, and they shared it. The following year they got a second Leapster so they wouldn't have to share. And the journaling on here kind of disappears. I don't like how I did that. I wish I had put like a background on it, but anyways, it says it's a good thing we got a good look at their faces in the first 2 to 4 years of their lives, because ever since Christmas Day, all we see is the tops of their heads because they're, you know, doing their video game. So this is a doily that I dyed. I don't even remember how I dyed it. I might have used Distress ink because it looks kind of like broken china. So, so yeah, that's that. And I just kind of think that's cute. So I wanted to share that. Then the last one is not my favorite, but it's kind of a funky layout. It was out, so I thought I'd share it. I used the large bubble wrap. It's again from the 2009, so it's an old one. I used bubble wrap, and then I put some Raw-Bonds over top as my kind of like my background to frame the photos. And this is about the needles. And I used my slice to make this frame that I put some correction tape for journaling strips. And then I also used my slice to cut these letters for needles, and then I just outlined them. So the title is Needles Everywhere, and it says, the trees we get in Lunenburg always drop their needles. And I mean, this huge pile of needles wasn't even all of it. And then we got this cool close-up of the needles. That wasn't even all of the needles. And look at the huge. We go all the way out to Lunenburg, and cut down a tree from a place. It's not really a tree farm, it's just a bunch of, because they're not all perfect nice trees all lined up or anything, it's kind of just the woods, and you pick a tree. And they're great trees, they're really beautiful, and they're very natural, and they're not perfect, they've got a lot of character, but they always drop their needles. And so we're thinking we should just go to a tree lot and get a regular tree, because it's a real pain in the butt having to clean up all these needles. But anyways, it's kind of our tradition. We do it with a bunch of families in our neighborhood. So anyways, this was out though, so I thought I'd share that. It's super simple, but a good example of how you can scrapbook those everyday moments, and you don't need to take forever to do it. You can just slap some stuff together and, you know, capture that moment. So that's all I have to share with you guys today. Thanks for watching as I blabber on about my layouts. If you have any questions about anything that I showed today, just let me know. I went through some of them really fast and some of them more detailed. So thanks for hanging in there and watching it all, and take care. I'll talk to you later.